I watched an ad and I was first. I will be taking my leave now. Goodbye. Bro, are you really built that small? Just one thing happens and you're done. Okay. Max, are we going to get another undercover raid leading this expansion? You know what? Kind of want to maybe do that today. Not like try to make content with that. I mean, like typically doing doing that kind of content is just like doing pug raids, which I find pretty fun. Max Dorky said after these changes, Brewmaster is meta. You should play it. Ooh. I don't know if I like Brewmaster, though. I really like Blood Decay, and I really like Prot Warrior. Those sound like really fun tanks to play for me. And Druid. I like Druid a lot, too. Druid needs a goose form. Dude, so true. So true. Speaking of geese, y'all ever played that Untitled Goose game? It's a nice little chill game. Like it's like a normie game for sure. Like my cousins played it when they were at my house. It's like you don't have to be into gaming to like that game. It's pretty fun. Nice little puzzle game. By the way, has anyone played Split Fiction? I've heard it's fucking great. I need to play that shit. We tried 33 Immortals. Nah. 33 Immortals. What is this? Some anime shit? Wait, 97% liked this game. What the fuck? Okay, and I like roguelikes. Hold on. Hold on. It's like Hades. Oh, shit. See, here's the weird thing. I love roguelikes. Or roguelites. Couldn't get into Hades. How does that work? It's a co-op action roguelike for 33 players. But how the fuck are you gonna? Is it like you just group with randoms? Because like no one's just gonna like load in with 33 people unless you're a streamer. Oh, the rest are randos. Oh, that's kind of nice. Think it's a bit bare bones right now. Yeah, we can wait. Right now, I just want to play. I want to play Windwalker Monk. Yeah, nice chill stream. Dude, that rookery we didn't time. Oh, that's so sad. Are Twitch babies still a meme? What does that mean? I've never heard the word Twitch babies in my life. Oh, do you mean like that you were a 9-month sub? I get it. I get it. I get what you mean. And I don't think so. I think that's some old shit. Dude, I don't watch any Twitch anymore. I mean, obviously, you guys can't relate. You're all watching my shit right now, but... when was the last time I, like, really watched Twitch? Actually... I think, like... Okay, so, thinking about era... Like, definitely the Hearthstone era. I was watching that shit for sure. Hearthstone on Twitch. That was like a thing. Did I watch it during PUBG? Like the PUBG era, maybe? Maybe a little bit. Did you watch post Among Us era? Nah, Among Us totally missed me. I didn't care about that shit. That was a whole ass era though. And then if you're like 10 years younger than me, the Fortnite era was huge. During MDI. I mean, yeah, during MDI TTP, yeah. I guess that's actually when I'm a nice little viewer. Wait, is the PvP thing still going on today? PUBG era gaming was goated. Yeah, I still think that's the most fun I've ever had gaming. Liquid just lost a Jung. Like, are they knocked out? Or are they, like, bought lower bracket? Lower bracket. All right, cool. We might watch some of that. I feel particularly strong about supporting our PvP team because they have been dealing with some absolute bullshit this week. Hope they can overcome it. Be pretty impressive. What happened? There was like a clip of Trill that sounded like he said a slur. And then like every PvPer that's ever been in trouble for saying slurs just wanted it to be true so bad that they were just like trying to fucking ruin this guy's life. And he just like absolutely did not do it. His mom was on Twitter, his girlfriend's defending him. I felt so bad for them, man. That's awful. Yeah. As usual, anytime there's a big mob like that going after someone, especially regarding subjects like that, if you take a close look at the mob, you will just see the most degenerate people you'll ever see. Because anytime something else comes out like that, like all the reasonable people are out. It's just people that use words like that all the time that just want to see someone who has succeeded to fail. They want to see either validates their decision to use stuff like that, but they just want to see someone be miserable like them. It's always the same kind of people. Max, have you tried the underpin challenge yet? Well, I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? It's the Delve boss guy? Dude, I didn't even do Zekvir. Is it fun? Is it hard? Is it cool? No, it is RNG and bugged as hell. Well, that doesn't sound fun. Also, I got some food coming, so we might need some React content before we start gaming. Speaking of that, where my food at? Oops, someone has my order, and they're 15 minutes away. Okay. Max, have you ever watched LeBron's Mind the Game YouTube series? No, that is something that I think if I was like into basketball as much as I was into hockey, I would like listen to that with every bated breath. You know, I would just download that shit. But it'd probably be interesting to me anyway. But yeah, you said the last episode is a huge part of it was about the importance of sleep in competition. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna listen to that then, because that is something that I take very seriously. Like nutrition and sleep, and just taking care of your body while you perform is something that I am like so into now. I mean, I literally hired a dietitian. Like that. I feel like you don't do that unless you like that's super important to you. And I don't know enough about sleep, really. All I do is I just try to get 8 hours plus a night very religiously. And take some, you know, I take some like recommended supplements before bed and like some blue light blocking glasses before bed and shit like that. But no, I don't go like super crazy with it. Sit, saw Suri left, went to Echo. Sucks as a good priest. Yeah, it's all good. It is chill, bro. Is there if there is any human being where you can take their word on what proper maintenance of a competitor's body is, it's LeBron. Yeah, I mean, I also I can't like replicate a lot of that. I think like someone said he spends like $1 million a year on literally just recovery for his body, which is insane. I don't even know how you can do that. I don't even know like where you would spend that money. I mean, obviously like constant massages, personal trainers. Uh, he probably gets like stretched out a couple times a day, stuff like that. Even after he just came out and said that's not true. Okay, that's not surprising because like I also spend a decent amount of money on recovery and stuff. And that just sounds like completely unbelievable unless there's like some crazy, crazy shit going on. Damn, I want to get stretched out. Oh, you guys know what I mean, man. Max, I've just worked out a guy in my Mythic Plus group who is botting stuff, interrupts, sacks, and etc. What do I do? Uh, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you probably just don't do fucking anything. Maybe if you think that's weird, you just like don't play with him anymore. But I don't know. If you're a narc, you can report him if you want. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see the reason to do that. Like if you're botting kicks in PvE, like you're already resigning yourself to just be dog shit at the game anyway. You know? Like that person's a is pathetic, you know? Like they're just gonna end up like they know they can't do something good enough, so they're just gonna like cheat to do it. And I don't even know the benefit. Like it seems like a really low value cheat. What does that even mean? What is botting kicks in PvE? Like the mob that you are focusing or something, it just automatically kicks so you never have to press the button. But that's, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like that's just embarrassing. I don't know. It doesn't even seem that good. Is that a thing? Do people do that in I know in PvP botting kicks and stuff is like big, but like who the fuck does that? Probably a full rotation sweet thing. It does everything for you. You just press W. Bro, if you're bad enough to use something like that, I bet if you ever got into any high level content, you could watch that person move and instantly know they're dog shit in 5 seconds. I bet you will see unthinkably bad things from that person. Whatever his bot is, cast sack whenever someone goes to like 40% or something. See, I don't even See, like, how have you worked out that he's using a bot? Like I play, you know, I'm like, it have been in the high level WoW scene for what, like 10, almost 15 years. I've never heard of anyone doing that in PvE ever. Like, I would also just be willing to bet that you're just wrong. Like, unless you actually saw them doing it, like, I bet you're just wrong. This is some Giga Troll one guy going on right now. Oh, that sounds right. Why am I still on my starting student screen? What's up? Back in Legion, I was in a bad guild where 4 to 5 of our raiders were strangely absent on patch release. What does that mean? Like, the insinuation there is that they were waiting on that patch's bot to work for gameplay. I just find that so weird. I don't even know if... Like, I mean, maybe this is something where high-level players would never even think about this. You never hear about it. Maybe it's more of like a mid-level guild where, like, some people are looking for, like, an advantage. So then maybe that's why I've never heard of it. But I just don't even... I just don't even believe it. I don't think that's true. Like, like what is the, like, if you also have to think about risk versus reward, right? Like I guess there's not a huge risk in like Apex or something because you can just make a new account and like who cares, you know? I think it's like a free game. So like there's a ton of cheaters in Apex. But in WoW you have to buy the game and usually people have like a pretty large investment into their own account. So, like, imagine someone's willing to throw all that away by using a bot, and it's just to get kicks in PvE or, like, automatically use externals. Like, I mean, that's just insane. I just don't think that's ever happened, because it just doesn't. Why would you do that? Like, it's peak bad decision, you know? Did you guys recruit another healer? Yeah, we recruited Timber Maw. No, there are bots for bubble and block, etc. You see it in PvP all the time. I don't know about all the time, but like I'd be willing to believe it because I'm not in the PvP community. I don't know what PvPers do. I also think like the reason to bot something like kicks especially sounds like something that you would use in PvE or PvP, and I believe it, you know? I believe that shit. But also I don't really know. Like, I would bet that while, yes, botting exists in PvP, and there's probably some high-profile cases of it, again, which I'm just not aware of, I would also be willing to bet that just like most competitive games, people just make shit up. Like for example, like, you'll just get something kicked, and someone will have, like, a sick kick on you, and then someone will just be like, that guy's botting. Or these guys are fucking win trading, you know? Just like making, just, you know, like, common excuse. Like, it's never my fault, something else is going on, someone's cheating. Max, do you guys have a running scout list for potential recruits for situations like Sari leaving? A running scout list? Nah, I mean, the literal within 2 minutes of Sari deciding to leave, someone else was in the guild to replace him. So I guess that answers your question? I can assure you I have done keys with at least 2 to 3 pug bots, and it's really obvious. I mean, yeah, it would be. Like, if someone's botting in WoW, If someone has ever made the decision of I can't do this, I need a bot to do it for me, it does not surprise me that they are super easy to spot, because I bet you just see, like, bro, if you like look at their character, they're probably doing shit like this. Like, there's probably just danger all around them, and they're like fucking strafe backpedaling and shit, just like this. Like, you're moving through the thing over here, everyone's like grouping up, someone like puts a ping down, and it's like, okay, we're pulling the mobs back to here, but obviously they're just like absolutely terrible at the game, so they're just like running around fucking like backpedaling out in the open. Dude, I feel like backpedal has gotten such a bad like reputation, because I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you see a bad player in WoW, like kind of similar to how if you're really good at FPS games, you can watch someone never take a shot and just watch their stream for 15 seconds, and you can tell within a pretty close guess of like how good they are just from the way that they move and they pre-aim. Same thing in WoW, honestly. Like, if you just like watch someone stream or take a second away from watching someone, like you can just tell by watching them play. So like, if someone was actually botting their rotation, you would be able to tell, not that they're necessarily botting their rotation, but they would probably, their movement would be so insanely bad, you'd either be like, they're botting, or like they're just built like a bot, you know? Is there anything wrong with backpedaling as a caster? Backpedaling's fine. There's not a big issue with Oh look, there's a fired up fan. He's fucking hitting those spins while he's channeling a portal. Like, basically for a while, like, I know people, there was definitely, this was more in like Mop WoD Legion, but like people would tell you, there'd be like one douchebag in your guild that would just be like, bro, you gotta unbind backpedal, that's like a pro gamer move, gotta unbind that shit, bind something else. But like, binding backpedal is not, like, unbinding backpedal is also bad. It's just that like, basically backpedaling is something that good players utilize a fair amount, especially tanks and melee, I think. But it just, you know, it has a bad reputation, because when you see someone bad at the game, just 100% of the time, they're going to be doing the craziest backpedals you've ever seen. I have it unbound myself. The extra bind is super useful. Yeah, I mean, I would also believe that, like, people have it unbound and they do just fine. Like, there's never a scenario where having it unbound is, or having it bound would have helped them. Like, you can get used to doing that. But at the same time, I also don't, like, I think anyone that says binding backpedal is bad is wrong. Like, there's plenty of uses for backpedaling. Like, especially for tanks. Like, tanks, this is not a common tank skill. Like, this is honestly like something that separates a very, very high level player from another very, very high level player. Is like, as a tank in Mythic Plus, you can have like really good survivability, you can have really good damage, you can be really consistent. But then like one little thing that kind of separates people, and maybe now that I'm mentioning this, maybe you already know this, but like if you don't know this, maybe you'll start focusing on it. Especially you can tell on streams. You can have like two tanks that are pretty close together in skill, and then one of them, the pack of mobs looks real spread out, you know. There's like they're not really like stacked. And then like another tank will just be really religious on making sure the mobs are like basically pixel stacked on each other without the help of like grip and stuff like that, just by manipulating mob movements. And that is like really, really OP. Like, this game is so fucking, you do so much more damage when things are pixel stacked. It's actually like surprising how much more. Like, if you have a loose 3-yard spread versus a literal pixel stack, the pixel stack smokes it in damage. And I think backpedal is like literally required to do that well as a tank. To like, backpedaling to just like do little micro movements to make a pack better for damage is really helpful. Super noticeable in the Unholy DK DPS? Yeah, actually, I can tell you there's a pull that you would do in the MDI that was so RNG, and it was purely because of how the mobs actually stacked. It's the first pull in Freehold MDI style, So, and we did this pull all the time because like you did freehold a lot in the MDI global finals. Let me see. What's the like actual key? Maybe I don't have the actual. Oh, Mythic Dungeon tools. That's it. Yeah. So go all the way. Wait, only. It only has the War Within. Okay, I'd probably have to like load a different thing, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like well, I'm sure a lot of you didn't do the MDI, but maybe you saw the pull. It's like you pull from the beginning. Usually skip like the first pack, but then you pull like the pat and 2 packs plus the other pack like behind you, like LOS it behind that little thing. Like here, I'm gonna do a shitty job of like showing it right now, but like imagine the entrance to Freehold is here, and then you like move up through here, you invis pot past these mobs, and then you grab like these dudes, grab these dudes, and then you like get this pack on the edge, and then you LOS behind this corner, and then you wait for them all to stack. And you're basically pulling like 15 mobs, I think. But like some of them are like the dudes that stand still, the scrappers or whatever. They like stand still and don't move. And bro, that pull, you would just kill it 15 seconds earlier, and the only difference was a pixel stack versus like a loose, like almost a pixel stack. Pixel stacking, especially with certain specs, is really OP. Unholy was the one you played in that season. Any chance you'd compete in the MDI again? No fucking shot. No way. Oh, great example, actually. Backpedaling is one of the easiest ways to get Cujo into the right LOS for DPS. That is a perfect example. First boss in Workshop. Perfect example. Or second boss, sorry. But yeah, Cujo, you're exactly right. Cujo in on that boss, backpedaling is key to getting it in the right position. This is so sick. Why is the pixel stack so important? More shit be hidden? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways damage can happen in this game. Like, some spells just AoE around you. Some do damage off of the mob in a certain area. Some come out of the front of your character. Like, if you guys saw that Frosty K in the key the other day, like, he pressed Pillar of Frost, and then, like, the big line just pulled an extra pack. Like, basically, a pixel stack just means 100% of things are hitting, and if it's loosely spread, it's, you know, probably like 96 or something, but that matters. You know, that's like a 5% DPS increase, huge. I just got a drifting achievement, or, traveler. Oh, wait, where do you see your, traveler's log? Bro, I'm almost there. Bro, what a crazy, stupid mog. That looks so good. I need that shit. Max, I noticed a lot of Windwalkers dropped Emperor's capacitors for Slicing Wind. What happened? I can't tell you. I just started playing really like last week this season. And I just basically copied like a Mythic Plus build, and it just included like Slicing Wind. So we use that. Also, Slicing Winds just does insane damage. Like, it does so much damage. I think Crackling Jade Lightning is definitely good. Like, I would bet, and I don't know this, but I would be willing to bet that in some keys this season you play this, and in some you actually do something like this. Like, you keep Slicing Wind, but you probably play a little bit more single target stuff. Drop and like grab Thunder Fist and Ferociousness, and then like take these. My build for that is called Turtle Bazooka Hybrid. All right, my food's here. Be right back. All right, might need a little reacto here. Might need a little reacto because I need to eat my food. So, let's see if we can find one. YouTube, that like Willy guy has been making some good React content recently because Haruma Red has been letting us down. Let's see if I can find it. So, Willy. This is tanking my algorithm, but come on. Please tell me you have a new retail one. Ooh, most broken ability removed for every WoW class. That actually sounds really fun, doesn't it? That's a fun thing to think about. That sounds really fun. That sounds really, really fun. Let's do that. That sounds like a banger. All right. Let's try to even name all the classes in this game. Paladin, Druid, Evoker, Mage, Warlock, Warrior, Rogue, Shaman, Hunter. Oh my god, I'm already Priest. Holy shit, this is not good. Oh my god, Monk, the one I'm on right now. DH, DK. What do we got here? How many missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's all of them. Okay, that was only missed DH, DK. So, let's start thinking of all the most broken abilities removed from these classes. Paladin. So Ashen Hollow's the most recent one of this. But I wonder if there's like some old shit you could argue. And also this guy's a big classic Andy, so there's he'll probably Divine Intervention. So what was Divine Intervention exactly? What did that do? What did Divine Intervention do? Yeah, wait, what was the thing? What was the, like, Aura of Sacrifice in Legion? That shit was crazy, too. Divine Intervention was to kill yourself to save a guy. Ashen Hollow sounds stronger than that. Reckoning was sick. Can you tell me, like, what is Reckoning? What is Reckoning? I think the answer is probably Ashen Hollow, bro. Like, it was, like, untunably broken until it got removed. It was so insane. Like, basically, I mean, actually, I don't know. Ashen Hollow was pretty well balanced in the way that if you're going to make a 4-minute CD, it has to be, like, twice as good as a 2-minute CD, you know? And most 3 and 4 minutes don't actually follow that line of thinking. They're just not good enough to be that long. So Ashen Hollow was just, like, good enough, but it was on a 4-minute CD, which is super OP. But the thing is like, this game is, like, especially in Mythic Plus, is, like, so defined by... Like, you can deal with the overall power of something. Like, the overall power is everything, and you would just build your entire strat around the 4-minute CD. I'm gonna just... Let's not spend too much time on this, because I gotta eat my food. Ashen Hollow for this. Druid, it's Symbiosis. I don't even think it's close. Evoker, they haven't really removed... This is, like, too early. I'm gonna move Evoker to, like, the bottom of the list, because, like, I don't even know if there's a good answer for that. Mage... Warlock is definitely KJ's Cunning. Or maybe, or Demo Meta. Prismatic Crystal? Prismatic Crystal was, like, pretty well balanced, except for a specific interaction with a trinket in one raid. I don't know. I'm not sure if anything sticks out to me there. What about Warrior? Rogue is probably Smoke Bomb in PvE, right? They had a 20% DR for the entire raid. It's pretty OP. Warrior's Glad stance? Huh? Dude, when Glad... is this a PvP thing? Or are you guys talking about, like, PvP? Because, like, in PvE, Glad stance was, like, super whatever. It was not, was rarely good, and if so, it wasn't, like, the best DPS in the game or anything, so... People just loved it? Well, we're talking about the most OP things removed. I don't even think it was OP. Oh, maybe it was Crit Banner, Skull Banner. But Skull Banner was also, like, not that good. I don't have a good answer for Warrior. Shaman? Dude, probably Ancestral Guidance. That's not how you spell that. Okay. And they just removed it. Oh, Mop Alter Time for Mage. I don't know if that counts because they still have Alter Time. It's just different. Old Alter Time. I'll put that. I'll put that though, because that is a good point. But I think it's probably not going to get picked by him. But like, you know, we can have a better answer. Hunter is Aspect of the Fox. I don't. Let's think more. Okay, Aspect of the Fox is good, but it's a little overrated. Little overrated. Like, it was specifically insane for like one boss. Like, Aspect of the Fox existed for 2 raids, High Mall and Black Ark Foundry, and it was only like you only brought a bunch of hunters to stack Aspect of the Fox on one boss. So like, feel like it's I mean, I don't know. The answer might just be Aspect of the Fox. Pretty strong, but I will just say a massively overrated spell. Priest. Oh, I'm not. It's not even close. Probably the most OP thing on this list. Monk. Uplift? Zen Med? Nah, Zen Med's whatever. Mistwalk and PvP. Nah, we're not the same about PvP. If he gives PvP answers, I mean, it's just what it is. I'm pretty sure the answer is Uplift. Maybe Chi Explosion? What did Old Alter Time do? It reset all of your cooldowns, including DPS ones. What is this list about? We found a YouTube video that would be fun to react to while I eat food. Called the most OP removed spells for every class that I think might be kind of fun to listen to. So we're trying to just guess what this will be before watching it. Like on some Haruma Red type shit. I don't know about Monk. I need to think about that more. DH? Probably Momentum / Inertia. Old Blade Dance was cast by... No. It's Nemesis, no question. Such a recent class. Oh, you know what it might be, actually? I think you're right. I think it was Double Sigils. This is not technically an answer because this is not an ability. It's a talent that I think still exists, just got changed. But I'm pretty sure It is whatever the fuck gave them 2 stacks of every sigil. Like that was fucking broken. Like if that wasn't changed, you would have just played DH in every Mythic Plus season ever. It's probably that. Sinful brand. Bro. DK. DK is the res as ghoul when you died. Was that even that OP? Like, the problem is, like, okay, we're gonna pick something from Wrath, because, like, DK was just, like, super OP in Wrath. But, like, the resing someone as a ghoul or whatever, I don't even think was OP, it was just cool. At least in PvE. Oh, it's Dark Sim. It's Dark Sim. This literally completely broke raid bosses. It was so OP when it worked. I'm going with Dark Sim. That shit's screwed. That shit was actually so broken. Probably really good in PvP, too. Or maybe Nathria AMZ, low-key. 2-minute cooldown, 20% DR. One of the best raid CDs of all time. Maybe the... Wait, is 2-minute, 20% DR actually just the best raid CD of all time? I think it is. Like, the only thing you can compare to it is... like, Barrier. 25% Barrier, but that's 3-minute, so 2-minute just wins out. Aura Mastery from Paladins before it was nerfed, which I think at its best was a 15% DR, which you didn't have to be stacked for, but it was a 3-minute CD. Does Spirit Shell count as a raid CD? No. Spirit Link? Spirit Link is the best raid cooldown in the game at extremely niche and specific mechanics that are very rare. And then outside of that, it's just pretty mid. I think it might be, I think Nathria AMZ might have been the actual best raid CD. A little fight dependent, but okay. And then Evoker. I mean, Evoker is just so recent. Like, is there anything that Evokers have had that was super OP that is completely gone? Closest clutchmates. Evoker is just Ebb and Might. Don't they still have Ebb and Might? Though? Og? Guys, Og still exists. Maybe the scales, actually. Maybe the thing that when you Obsidian scaled, it gave health to your party. Eben Might got nerfed. Baby Might now. Yeah, but like it's still... I feel like you guys are misunderstanding the video. I'm trying to think. Pretty sure your HP scale thing also exists. Dude, I just have no answer for Og. It's not fun. Okay, Warrior and Monk are the two that we care about here. Warrior's probably Skull Banner. I don't actually know. I think Skull Banner is like really overrated. I don't think Skull Banner was that strong. Like even when Skull Banner existed, you didn't stack Warriors for that reason. I mean, maybe just like old Rallying Cry is a decent answer, right? Because like there were points in this game where Rallying Cry was close to a 30% HP increase, which is like just so, and now it's just insanely terrible. It's so bad. Maybe, but that's like not. I don't know. Old Execute, OG Rec. No. Okay, what about Monk? We need to just watch the video. Paladin is wrong. Yeah, I took a guess with Ashen Hallow. Like I think Divine Intervention is like definitely not better than Ashen. Do you have another suggestion for Paladin specifically? Like maybe the blood, the like Aura of Sacrifice, or Brew monk shield with mob vengeance. I mean, pretty much everything. We just have to watch the video at this point, you know? Warlock's old Fire and Brimstone with old passive Manoros Fury was insane. It was, but I feel like the fact that Warlocks are so immobile right now and they used to have an ability that let them permanently cast while moving, I think that is probably the most impactful best ability that they've ever lost. That would be my guess. Touch of Death from Legion. Old Touch of Death. I mean, it wasn't even... No, I don't think so. Monk could be Nimble Brew. Maybe. I'm just going to go with Uplift. I think the answer... I'm pretty sure the most broken version of Monk ever, including this tier and Sanctum Farm, is actually Jab Jab Uplift Monk from Miss Pandaria. Alright, we're slamming it. Alright, let's slam it. Alright, video time.
Throughout World of Warcraft's many expansions, we've seen class abilities come and go. Some of them were seen as relics of the past which were clunky to play with or just not very interactive, and others were the cornerstone of how certain specs have worked for many years. And with these changes now and again, sometimes Blizzard introduces spells or abilities to WoW which were perhaps just a little bit too good. Those abilities that can one-shot others in PvP, top DPS without trying, or make you feel more mobile than a mounted
I'm just going to say this now.
Today I wanted to cover
if he ever mentions PvP, we're just going to get it wrong, and that's okay. That is, we accept this outcome.
It was in the game. This can be any form of ability, talent, spell, artifact trait, or whatever else that your class is.
Ooh, did we miss by not really considering artifact weapons? The thing is the really good artifact weapons mostly got baked in as talents, but in a lot of times they weren't as I don't know. Does corrupt... No, I don't think corruption would matter. I don't know, fuck it.
Ever possessed at any point in WoW's 20+ year history. So with that said, this is the most overpowered removed ability from each of WoW's classes. I think today we'll start off with the Cloth Wearers and with the Priest. And to be fair, they are
Surrender to
a pretty
Madness.
Easy starting point.
Yeah, it's Surrender to Madness. It's not close. It's not close.
One of the best DPS cooldowns that was ever introduced
This
to the
is
game.
one that, like, there's no fucking way it's not Surrender. There's no way.
It was first added in Legion, and it was called Surrender to Madness. So in Legion, Shadow Priest specifically got a pretty big overhaul to their gameplay style, where usually it was just about keeping dots up and using stuff off of cooldown. Now instead they had a
like, obviously this was so strong for people who were good at it, but also it had a secondary entertainment value where, like, if you were watching people that weren't as good try to play Surrender, you just saw some crazy shit.
Source to play with called Insanity. Insanity would be generated through abilities and would drain after a priest had activated their Void form. Whilst in this Void form you would get some different abilities and would gain a damage buff and an ever stacking haste buff. So the general idea was pull your resources, activate Void form, and then try and stay in this form for as long as possible to make the most of the damage buffs it provided. And with your regular gameplay, depending on boss fights and how much you need to move, you'd be somewhere between a 30 to 45 second Void form duration. It was definitely a powerful ability, but it was fair as well. And that is where Surrender to Madness steps in and just completely breaks the class. Surrender to Madness instantly activated Void form and made it so all spells could be cast
okay, we weren't talking about Surrender.
On top of that, in its first version, you would generate 200% bonus Insanity from abilities whilst in Void form. There is a catch though. If your Insanity ever dropped to 0 and you exited Void form, you just straight up died. You couldn't even be rezzed either. This was the ultimate risk versus reward DPS cooldown, and I don't know if anything quite as cool has been put in the game since. The thing is, in its first version,
it is insanely cool.
Was just...
But the thing is like, this isn't something you'd want to put on every class. It's cool this at once existed in the game. I think it also makes sense that it doesn't anymore. Because it's simply unbalanceable.
Overtuned. The combination of being able to cast whilst moving, whilst generating all that bonus Insanity, meant that priests were able to keep in Void form more or less indefinitely as long as they had something to hit all of the time. And so the first raid tier of Legion opens, the Emerald Nightmare, and it becomes immediately apparent that this new class can have more or less 100% uptime on a bunch of raid bosses, leading to Shadow Priest absolutely crushing.
It is crazy that when you died in Surrender to Madness, on Xavius that it didn't kill you and it just procced the fight mechanic where you didn't die. Crazy.
DPS meters, and clearly being the best DPS in the game. Of course though, Blizzard stepped in with a nerf to Surrender to Madness, many times over might I add. By patch 7.15, the insanity gain from this talent was halved, down from 200% to 100%, and Void Form itself was targeted with nerfs to its insanity drain rate 3 times as well throughout Legion. Blizzard did have a few attempts at rebalancing Surrender to Madness in later expansions, but ultimately it was removed as we know it in Dragonflight. But for me, this is definitely the most overpowered ability that priests have ever had, which was unfortunately removed. Before we go on, a quick shout out.
I think it had to be removed. I think it's great that it happened. One of those things like, don't be sad it's gone, be glad you were there. I think this, like, Surrender existing in its OP state would be the most complained about thing of all time if it continued to exist in the game. And I don't know, I'd be a fan of like playing a class like that, but I don't know, it's really hard for something like that to exist.
Today's sponsor, Boot.dev. Boot.dev is a platform that is getting Next we have the Mage, and for Mage they are a class that have had so many wacky abilities over the years.
So our guess is Old Alter Time here, but I'm really guessing he's not going to pick that. I think a common wrong answer would be Prismatic Crystal, because that's the only time it was really OP was because of something else being a trinket. Maybe it's Old Ignite.
From Frostjaw as a combined 8-second root and silence on a low cooldown. Have fun playing versus that one in PvP healers. Or Prismatic Crystal in Warlords of Draenor, which enabled them to do crazy high burst DPS as Arcane and defeat bosses, which were current content in literally seconds if you stacked enough mages. But for Mage,
that wasn't, like, that isn't because of Prismatic Crystal, though. It's because of a combination of a lot of things. I think it's a bad take.
I want to pick is something which, although was removed in future
but he didn't pick it. What did he pick?
Is still a talent in vanilla.
Oh!
Wow. And that is the seemingly innocent, improved Blizzard. I mean, it's a talent named after the game studio. You know it's got to be overpowered, right? So I've said in plenty of videos now that the Death Knight wasn't really World of Warcraft's first hero class when it came to just how overpowered they were. It all began with a mage in vanilla.
The fuck out
During this first version of WoW, when all classes were most certainly not made equal, they had a toolkit which was just several expansions ahead of others, and they excelled more than anyone else to an enormous degree in dealing AoE damage. Where other classes might have an ability which can hit a few targets such as cleave or multi-shot, or have an AoE on a long cooldown which was often just bad such as hurricane or volley, mages had, well, they had everything. Arcane Explosion, Cone of Cold, Flame Strike, and Blizzard. Mages absolutely destroyed every other class on AoE, and it was just not close. And during vanilla, there was no cap on AoE damage. During TBC and Wrath, Blizzard actually began to tone down AoE damage by introducing a cap, where a single ability couldn't do more than a certain amount of total damage. But in vanilla, you deal full damage whether you're hitting one mob or 1,000 mobs. And this is where the talent improved Blizzard starts to come in. At max rank, it would slow enemies by 65% for 1.5 seconds, but you would also always be taking the permafrost talent too, which improved the value of your slows by 10% and their duration importantly by 3 seconds. So any enemy that could be slowed by improved Blizzard was slowed by 75% for 4.5 seconds. And in vanilla, well, Blizzard didn't always make certain mobs such as elite or even in some cases dungeon mobs immune to slowing effects. So you combine the mage's ability to hit.
Max, what was your pick for mages? Mine was Old Alter Time. So what Alter Time used to do is it reset literally every single one of your cooldowns. So not only would it like heal you if you wanted to use it like that, but you would use it right after you used Icy Veins or whatever, and you would just get all of your buttons back. Including like Ice Block and shit. Which is like, imagine that in today's day and age. Imagine if you could like Ice Block or immune something or Ice Cold, and then 30 seconds later you're alter timing and doing it all again, including your DPS cooldowns. That's pretty sick. Or is there... Oh, man. It also removed the Bloodlust debuff if you timed it right? Oh, shit. I don't know, man.
It's an infinite number of enemies to be able to permanently apply.
I mean, like, okay, like, obviously, they're not going to do something that rating. I'm already saying, like, if they're doing any PvP thing, there's probably, like, I'm aware, there's probably an answer to a lot of this that is PvP-centric. that is right. Like, the most OP ability that's ever existed. I may have never even heard its name, and it's specifically a PvP reason, and I'm like okay with that. I think like questing out in the world. And if that's specifically, I mean, I don't think this is a terrible answer. I'm just like, it's just not, I guess it's just not fun for me because I didn't play in Classic.
Their massive movement speed slow so they never got hit, and just their good defensive tools from the Frost Tree such as Ice Barrier, Cold Snap and Ice Block, and you end up with vanilla mage AoE farming where the sky is very much the limit. Mage's toolkit allow them to be the fastest leveler in the game through...
Oh yeah, Alter Time would also snapshot your buffs. You're exactly right. So like you would have every single buff up. Used to be like Engineer, you had Synapse Springs, you'd have your pot, you would have Bloodlust, and then like you would alter time, and then at the end of all those things dropping, you would just get them all back again. So your lust was just 10 seconds longer too.
AoE farming in the open world. It allows them to boost themselves in dungeons such as Zul'Thrak, or of course even boost others in raids like Zul'Gurub. Mages can, no exaggeration, pull 500 mobs in Maradon at the same time and gradually AoE them down. In fact, recently there's even been talk of mages soloing Lower Blackrock Spire, which is a new discovery on Anniversary Realms as far as I'm aware. Eventually though, Blizzard started to introduce AoE caps, which wasn't as bad as it sounds, but more importantly, they just started making stuff in dungeons immune to slowing effects. Improved Blizzard is the talent though that really brought everything together to allow the mage to pull off these crazy things in vanilla, and it truly set them apart from other classes. And for what it's worth, mages could still AoE well in TBC, and I remember people boosting or leveling in the likes of slave pens, so this wasn't completely dead by the expansion. But this tactic and mages exclusive access to the best AoE really did start to fall off heavily by Wrath of the Lich King and beyond. For Warlock, they are another class with plenty of abilities in...
Bro, KJ's cunning or I sleep. Okay, I also put in parentheses, so I'm cheating and picking a second thing. It could be also demo meta, because that was so insane. But, bro, like, just think about how it would impact them now. Imagine Warlocks could infinitely cast while moving right now. Like, if you play Warlock, you're like, that would be the most insane thing ever. I don't know. I think
intention here, but for them I want to go with a talent which we will soon have access to in the Pandaria Classic. However, we're going to get a nerfed version of it, and that is Kill Jaden's Cunning. So the one we should...
I think this is true.
Expect to get is one where Malefic
well, I mean, no shit, because I like picked it and I'm happy I'm right.
Shadow Bolt and Incinerate are all castable whilst moving. These are the filler spells for the 3 Warlock specs, and it's still a great talent.
It's still insane though,
because who doesn't love casting while moving?
The thing is like, yeah, but the thing is you have to cast filler spells in your rotation, so that's a thing. You were just able, you infinitely increase your mobility.
However, this talent used to be quite different. So during Mr. Pandaria's release in patch 5.04, it was a 1-minute cooldown ability, which when activated allowed all spells to be cast whilst moving for 6 seconds. However, it also had a passive...
Yeah, the passive was the thing.
Which meant if you cast spells without the cooldown active, it would slow your cast speed by 50% and movement speed by 10%, both of these stacking 2 times. So the upside was 6 seconds of casting while moving every 1 minute, and the downside was up to a 100% casting and 20% movement speed slow if accidentally used otherwise. I'm not gonna lie, this sounds pretty bad in its first version. However, then the first major content patch rolled around in 5.1 and straight up removed the cast time penalty from Kill Jaden's Cunning, but increased the movement speed slow to cap out from 30% up from 20%. So you still had the active portion of the talent with the free movement.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Seconds, but otherwise you could cast any. For them, I picked a talent that 5.4 changed it to what you should expect to get in 0.4 in is Rogue, and for them I picked one of the most powerful talents WoW has ever seen. Next up is Rogue, and for them I picked a talent.
Okay, so it sounds like you're picking a talent, and I don't remember if Smoke Bomb was a talent, but my pick is Smoke Bomb. But if he's doing talent, yeah, he might pick Burst of Speed. But like, okay, I would need to be convinced on Burst of Speed, because like a raid-wide 20% DR is so fucking insane. Oh, it could be Old Faint. Yeah, Old Faint was super crazy too. Yeah, but the thing is like, how many times is turning into a NASCAR race or whatever in like Raid or Mythic Plus? Like, actually relevant. Like there was one boss, Garrosh, where it was like really utilized, but like I don't know. I feel like basically an offensive spell just has to be, I don't know.
That we will be seeing
It
during
broke PvP. Okay, maybe this is just a PvP answer, and I just take the L on the fact that it's
the
PvP.
Pandaria, and you will be getting it at its best possible version. Usually things on final patches have undergone 1 or 2 nerfs after starting off being too good, but in this case more or less every single major content patch in Mr. Pandaria buffed this ability until we end up with what we'll have today. And here I'm talking about Burst of Speed. During Mr. Pandaria, this is an ability with no cooldown.
Wow, it just cost energy. That's so
increases
sick.
movement
That's
speed
so
by
insane.
70% for 4 seconds, and removes all movement speed slowing effects. So between the energy cost and the uptime, this ability can always be active for a small investment of your energy for a really powerful effect.
15 energy back then was not a small investment, by the way, but it's like if you were spamming this, your damage will go down like crazy in like PvE. I think this is a PvP take.
Looking back through the older patch notes, the first version of this seems to cost 60 energy, didn't remove slowing effects, and it broke stealth. I guess Blizzard was seriously overestimating how good a mini on-demand sprint was going to be. Burst of Speed though is just a great overall tool for the rogue, whatever area of content you enjoy most. For leveling, it's going to be faster than mounting up between short distances. For PvP, it removes roots and gives you a nice speed boost. For PvE, it's a small energy investment to cover a lot of ground fast. And for farming old content, you can zoom through dungeons with a permanent 70% movement speed buff. This talent was also nerfed twice in Warlords of Draenor to increase its energy cost to 30, as well as to make it have a 3-second cooldown before it was outright removed in Legion. So back in the day, you'd have had this talent in this state for most of the final patch of Mr. Pandaria, which was still a very long time by the way, but in Mock Classic, you'll have this from day 1. So rogues, enjoy. We're staying in the Mr. Pandaria expansion for the next ability on this list with an absolutely iconic druid ability that only existed for this.
Yep. Okay, it's going to be Symbiosis. The question is Symbiosis actually the most OP thing on this list? Like, okay, let me show you what it did. Symbiosis, just see if it shows up. Okay, wow. Probably have to type wow instead of the literal definition of it. Here's what it did. So, depending on, or no, this is what the druid would get. So the druid could give like Shadow Priest Tranquility. It could give Rogue's Taunt, which you could use evasion on. It gave Shaman specs, you know, like Solar Beam. I remember the Warlock Reju was really bad. It gave Warriors like a Stampeding Roar, right? So like you can think in Raid, that's like super insane. It gave tanks an extra cooldown. It gave Blood DK's got Might of Ursoc, Brewmaster got Survival Instincts, right? So like multiple tanks are just gaining like crazy value. You got like actual, this was their active mitigation at the time, Savage Defense, but it would just be a 1 minute CD 30%. But look at what you could get by giving it to people. Feral Druid could get Soul Swap for their dots, super broken. Feral Druid could get literally Divine Shield, just the button, no, not a nerf version, just literally a fucking immunity. You could if you were a Resto Druid, you could get Ice Blocker, Deterrence, or like an actual personal based on the scenario. Guardian could gain a ton of defensive things. Fear Ward was actually really broken on a couple of bosses, being able to get Fear Ward. Balanced Druids could get AMS, Unending Resolve, Hodge. It's like being able to give yourself an immunity, just in general, would probably be the answer to this, and it could be so much more than that too.
Expansion. I am of course talking here about Symbiosis. The idea behind this spell.
Also another thing where I'm like, be glad, don't be sad that it's gone, be glad that you were here kind of thing. This is another spell that absolutely could not have continued to exist without just insane nerfs to where it wouldn't even be the reason it was cool. It was so OP.
Is pretty simple. So the druid will cast Symbiosis on another class. The druid gains an ability from that class based upon the casting druid spec.
Can you imagine how this would be exploited in like the Race to World First? You would just do, you would, the solution to so many problems you come across would be some kind of use of Symbiosis.
and the class they have casted Symbiosis on gains a druid ability which can depend on their spec, but some classes get the same ability for all 3 specs. Just for an example, if you're a Resto Druid and you Symbiosis as Shadow Priest, the Druid gets a Leap of Faith and the Priest gets Tranquility. If you're a Feral Druid and you put Symbiosis on a Prot Pala, the Druid will get Divine Shield and the Paladin gets Bark Skin. And if you Symbiosis any Hunter as a Balanced Druid, the Druid will get Misdirection, and any Hunter specs will get Dash. Just keep in mind what spec you target with Symbiosis doesn't matter, it's just the ability granted will change based upon your own spec. So of course this opened up a massive amount of different combinations which can be applied to so many different scenarios in all areas of the game. In PvP specifically, you really had to learn the Symbiosis combinations. A Feral Druid could just use Dispersion out of nowhere, and you might not have expected that extra defensive when you're going all in. In PvE it opened up a bunch of powerful abilities which could be shared too, depending on the requirements of the fight. Maybe a single player needed a defensive, or the raid needed more healing, perhaps more mobility would be good, or you could even misdirect from a Druid Starfall. There were so many possibilities.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead.
Try, you'll be able to experience Symbiosis once again. Next up on the leather wearers is the Monk, and funnily enough
Yeah, the Monk really confused me. We just had to pick something. Like, basically the most OP any spec of Monk ever was, at least that included a major removed ability, was Mistweaver and Mop with Uplift. But I think this question, the answer to this could be a lot of things. Most things that were super broken are still in the game. This Monk doesn't have a lot of remove spells.
It's another ability from Mr. Pandaria. I swear I'm not picking him up on purpose here, but when people think back to it and say classes were fun back then, that kind of happened for a reason. There was just a lot of overpowered stuff. Anyways, the choice for me here is a Brewmaster Monk ability, Dizzying Haze. This ability...
I mean, now that I'm looking at the dungeon journal, the answer is probably Guard. Like, Guard was fucking OP. Was actually OP. Dude, this is
20 energy, had a 40-yard range, applied a 50% slow for 15 seconds, and would hit all enemies within an 8-yard radius, dealing high threat. In Mr. Pandaria as well, it also gave enemies essentially a 3% chance to punch themselves in the face instead of you. So this ability might not sound as...
I mean, you used to use this, okay, like kind of similar to Burst of Speed Pick. There were some PvE situations where Dizzying Haze and you just throwing your keg or whatever would just allow you to infinitely kite things forever, which was OP, and I think it was the only class in the game that could do that, and this enabled that. So in that way, it's a good thing. I don't know. I just think like literally something else on this actual spell page Guard. Also Avert Harm. Avert Harm. Brewmaster Monks used to be able to basically stagger a certain percentage of all the raid damage, which is like super insane. And then they would just take all of the stagger. It was also super fun because, well, if you didn't know exactly how to use it, you would just instantly die.
It's the biggest deal compared to
like
some of the other
it could
ones we've
instantly
already
fucking
seen
kill
here.
you.
But this is a spammable ranged AoE threat generator that applies a 50% slow. Has any other tank in WoW ever had something like this? Maybe they have, but...
Yeah, let's just show a POV, by the way, where this ability isn't OP at all and is doing nothing.
Not that I can think of, and that's probably for a good
Let's
reason.
just show this
During
clip.
Mr. Pandaria and beyond, Blizzard started working on making dungeons a bit more competitive too through challenge modes. Imagine this ability in Modern Mythic Plus with...
Max, I got paid twice for splits, someone said in YouTube chat. Bro, why are you telling me that? You're being a narc on yourself right now. Just take the extra gold, big dog. You won.
Its capabilities of pulling so many mobs whilst having a built-in way to kite at the same time. It was also amazing just for general open world use or farming old content, and since Wrath of the Lich King, even hitting a mob with a non-damaging attack would grant
then he
you
told
a
me to
tag
blow
on
up.
it.
Okay.
So this was just overall a fantastic ability with so many different use cases for the Monk. Dizzying Haze existed all the way through Warlords
I'm not the
of Draenor
IRS, bro.
2, though enemies having a chance to hit themselves was removed, before ultimately Dizzying Haze was removed entirely in Legion.
I just think this is the wrong
But again,
answer.
in Mock Classic...
Dude, Guard, like when you had a ton of Vengeance in Miss of Pandaria, you could just have a massive absorb on everyone in your party in dungeons, and a decent amount of people in your raid, and it was not a small absorb. Like it scaled off of vengeance, so you could have an absorb that was like more than your entire HP
You'll get
bar.
the chance to try out this ability once again. Finally, for the
And that sounds insane, but honestly, everything in MOP was just so OP that that's not even like crazy. Like, imagine that now. Imagine if you play with a Brewmaster Monk in your keys right now, you would randomly be giving an absorb for over 100% of your HP. It would feel like Oracle, right? And it was really common. And that you're already thinking like, well, that would be super fucking broken, and it would be. But like in Mist, that wasn't even anything because everything was that broken.
other wearers is the Demon Hunter, and for them I want to do a throwback to their release expansion, Legion. For Demon Hunter I'm picking what used to be their artifact weapon ability for Havoc, the Fury of the Illidari.
Nah, that's just this what, bro? This thing was like ass, and it's still in the game. This wasn't even good.
Class's artifact ability was something pretty amazing back.
I mean, I don't think there's a lot of great answers for this, but like one of them could be, like, I don't know if it's actually removed or is just way worse now, but like Inertia was really broken, or like Legion Momentum was really broken, Bloodlet was really broken, which are now like they kind of exist in different ways, but not really. Blade Dance Immunity was really broken. This is, am I crazy? Am I misremembering this? I remember this ability being like so far down in your DPS priority, even in AoE. Maybe I'll let him cook. Let's let him cook. Let him cook.
But Fury of the Illidari definitely stood out. What it did was pretty simple. On a 1-minute cooldown, do a massive amount of AoE damage to all nearby targets. Demon Hunters, especially in Legion, had a very strong AoE damage profile between their artifact ability, Blade Dance, and I-Beam. And both in Mythic Plus and raid bosses which required AoE, they definitely excelled. And at a 1-minute cooldown, this
is not even using it
as though it was
in
nearly
this VOD.
always ready to go whenever you were pulling a lot of enemies. Blizzard did end up removing Fury of the Illidari at the start of BFA, alongside many other Legion artifact powers and abilities, but they did kind of bring it back in Shadowlands with a new ability called Glaive Tempest. However, Glaive Tempest just didn't do anywhere near as much damage.
Dude, I actually think Glaive Tempest, as weak as it is, might actually do more damage than the thing he picked. Or at least, because Glaive Tempest is a third of the cooldown. If you 3 uses of Glaive Tempest is absolutely better than it used to be. Yeah, this is just like completely wrong.
It cost resources and it was target capped, so it was a far cry from how powerful Fury of the Illidari felt to use. Overall, their Legion brought a ton of
that was sick, bro. Holy fuck.
Artifact weapons, and for their opening expansion, the Demon Hunter got a particularly good one. Now we're moving on to the male wearer.
I mean, to be fair, there wasn't a lot of great answers for this, but this just definitely was a wrong one.
And the first one up is the Hunter.
Okay, let's what did we have for Hunter again? We had Aspect of the Fox, but I think this answer is like maybe what a lot of people would choose, but I think Aspect of the Fox is basically like super overrated. Like really overrated. Like History of WoW kind of thing. It could be like, yeah, like Mop Stampede maybe. Readiness, yeah, maybe Readiness. Wild Spirits. Ooh, Wild Spirits is not a bad take. Wild Spirits is very insane. At least its original version. I don't know. Let's see what he picks here.
The ability I want to highlight for them is one that actually exists in Cataclysm, which was temporarily removed in Mists of Pandaria before being brought back in Warlords of Draenor and its most powerful form. It's usually the case with Warlords of Draenor that Blizzard were removing abilities or pruning things out of your spellbook, but in this case Hunter's got something back, and that was Aspect of the Fox. So in Kata you may know this as simply allowing you to cast Steady Shot and Cobra Shot while
I'm not surprised this ended up being the answer. I think this is one of the spells in WoW's history that is massively overrated when anyone talks about it.
Moving. And this was the case in Mists of Pandaria for a bit too, but Blizzard made a change so you can cast these while moving baseline without needing Fox active. and that was when they temporarily removed it. In Warlords of Draenor though, Aspect to the Fox
Also, there was no reason to remove this spell. This got removed because of one boss.
was no longer a passive buff, as
Where hunters also happen to be super OP for doing damage on.
aspects tend to be, and instead it was redesigned into a cooldown. A seriously powerful cooldown at that. On a 3-minute cooldown when activated, it would allow all raid members within 40 yards to be able to...
Like, just read this. Like, this is not OP. Like, on a 1-minute cooldown, this would be... But, like, 3 minutes? There wouldn't be even a reason to bring multiple hunters unless they were already tuned really well, like in the current state of the game. I just think it's like so overrated.
Moving for 6 seconds, and certain boss fights in Warlords of Draenor, such as...
And legit, like, this ability on most bosses is like actually, like, it doesn't even matter.
Can phase 1 on Mythic, had your whole raid need to move during the same time as a group while still taking tons of damage. So to have 0 downtime on DPS or heals whilst dodging the mechanics was a very big deal on some fights. Perhaps more so than anyone for healers who are typically a little less mobile while pressing their big healing buttons. Aspect to the Fox allowed players to coordinate and overcome mechanics in
confluence of circumstances causing nerfs, classic, yep.
The way that Blizzard weren't entirely
Unholy Decays and Demo Locks being nerfed because they happened to be a good PI target.
Number of Fox casts to overcome difficult
An absolute classic.
of them. But Aspect of the Fox in this state didn't even last the whole way through the Warlords of Draenor expansion and was removed in patch 6.
Like, you know why people think this is so overpowered is because it was used in a raid and then it was removed. So people are just like, yeah, they had to remove it because it was so OP. It was removed right after. It was super, super good for one boss ever. And then it's just like, well, of course they had to remove it. Like for example, if they left Aspect of the Fox in the game since Warlords of Draenor, you guys would laugh at this answer. At this being like the best ability for hunters that's existed. Like crazy.
Hellfire Citadel. Nevertheless, for a time, hunters had perhaps their most valuable bit of raid-wide utility ever, and it all happened during Warlords of Draenor. Next up is the Evoker, because we are covering all classes here. Still, as
I don't even know what they could possibly choose for this. Let's see if he gets a good answer. We talked about a bunch of potential ones, but I don't even know what. I mean, it's not a specific talent or a specific thing, but is it just whatever the fuck was doing Flame Shaper Pres Evoker healing in season 1 of this expansion? Like, but I mean, those abilities aren't gone. They're just nerfed. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so OP.
Addition to WoW, they haven't had as many iterations over the years and haven't had as many chances to just do overpowered things. But I know what remove thing I want to pick from the Evoker here, because it's very much changed how much one of their specs has started to be picked. So back in Dragonflight midway through the expansion, Evoker was given a third spec, Augmentation, or just Aug for short. An Aug is unlike many other specs in the game.
Where's he going with this?
DPS, a tank, or a healer, but it's a support spec that buffs others in their party or raid. And when people got to grips with this new spec and saw what it was capable of doing,
talent,
it was adapted
closest
into
clutch
the
mates,
game very fast, and it was
Ebonmite isn't
proving
gone.
itself as part of a comp which was clearly head and shoulders above anything else at high level in Mythic Plus. And whilst Aug was also great, it was problematic.
Wait, is he just picking? But okay, but Aug isn't gone. Like, it's really bad right now. But I mean, like, next patch it could just be good again. You know, just like every other spec.
Overpowered, and when Aug was bad, it was really bad. And it seems as though Blizzard are still to strike a balance where a support spec can feel healthy for the game, especially at higher levels of gameplay. But this brings me to what has been removed from Augmentation.
Okay, yeah, okay.
To see a big drop.
Yeah, so it's not he's not just picking Aug. That would be a pretty bad answer. What is it?
And that was a targeted change to the spec in patch 11.1 of the War Within, where they can no longer buff tanks.
Okay, so in raids this doesn't matter, but in dungeons this is
or healers, meaning
probably what killed them.
Capabilities are on
this actually, there's not a lot of good answers. There's not a lot of like great answers for this, but this is certainly a fine one.
Mythic Plus season or the overall passes from
fine answer.
Heroic. This is
if he just said Aug in general, that would have been like a complete non-answer.
A very big margin. It's the same story on Mythic too, by the way. So it seems as though this change has temporarily pretty much removed Augmentation as a spec from existence, which seems like a rather big thing to have lost out on. You do wonder if they'll wait 12 months and then just rebuff Org to let them have fun again, or perhaps the support spec is just always going to have its ups and downs, and we'll have to see how Blizzard changes this in the future. The last of the male classes is the Shaman, and for them I want to talk about a pretty big downgrade in the mobility of Elemental.
Oh, pretty big downgrade in the mobility of Elemental. I mean, I just put Ancestral Guidance, because that's like a more recent thing, but I think AG has been like really, really powerful the entire time the game has been out, and just a really underrated, really, really good spell. He's going to talk about moving while casting Lightning Bolt.
But also of Restoration 2 in certain circumstances, and that was their loss of the ability to cast Lightning Bolt whilst moving. So if you played Elemental and Cataclysm...
So, I don't know if there's a lot of great answers for Shaman. I don't know if I really like this one, though, because like LA Shaman in the last... You can only talk about LA Shaman here, because this is... I guess you could talk about Resto, but... They have other ways of casting while moving. Like, there are some versions of Ellie that are, like, hard lockdown and hate movement. But, like, basically ever since they've had that, God, what's that spell where you use Frost Shock, like, 4 times? That, like, always amplifies their movement a lot. Like, I feel like they've had relevant, good specs that are pretty mobile. That are sometimes Ice Fury related, sometimes not. I think that... Okay, well, I mean, I know I'm me, so I'm biased, but I think he's wrong and I'm right. I think Ancestral Guidance is, like, way better than this. And it impacts all 3 specs.
You'll know there's a glyph called Unleash Lightning, which simply allows the Lightning Bolt to be cast whilst moving. Of course, this is your main filler spell, and it's great to be able to use this while still moving in all areas of content. In patch 5.3 during Mists of Pandaria, Blizzard changed this glyph and just made Lightning Bolt castable whilst moving baseline as a thing that the Shaman could now do. In fact, this may have been influenced by the fact that another caster, the Warlock, as we've already talked about, at this point in time was able to do that.
It's not a terrible answer, though, for what it's worth.
So really, what is
like AG isn't a slam dunk, but I do think it's better.
Mists of Pandaria was a time of crazy mobility in the game.
All right, I'm done with my food, so I'm going to skip ahead to the next class.
In the day, this was possible without a glyph from patch 5.3. That is sacred players. And now we are onto the plate wearers with the Paladin up first. For them, I'm picking a talent.
Okay, he said sacred something, so I know I'm wrong, but I have Ashen Hollow.
Which only worked this way during the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, and that is Sacred Cleansing. So PvP...
Just like a PvP answer. All right, all good. You can just skip this.
And WoW changed a lot from TBC to Wrath of the Lich King, with Blizzard removing a ton of our...
Wait, that doesn't even sound good. Your cleanse spell has a 30% chance, so when you dispel someone, there's a 30% chance to increase the target's resistance to disease, magic, and poison by 30% for 10 seconds. It was Omega, Giga, Broken, and Wrath. Alright.
From TBC to Wrath of the Lich King, with Blizzard removing a ton of RNG effects from Arena, ranging from environmental hazards, stun resist, spell knockback changes, and loads more. Across the world, from open world to battlegrounds to the arena, PvP interactions were going to be a bit more consistent and expected, rather than getting super unlucky or lucky being the deciding factor in whether you win any given battle. This all sounds great to know it's going to be leading to a more competitive and healthy PvP scene as a whole, and then Blizzard go and for some inexplicable reason add one of the most RNG heavy talents into the game we've ever seen in Sacred Cleansing. This will give your cleanse effect a 30% chance upon dispel to increase the target's chance to resist disease, magic and poison effects by 30% for 10 seconds. So you could randomly dispel, well, just about anything, and have a chance to make the target have a much higher chance to resist future spells. Imagine removing any of Mage's Slow on a warrior, and then they have a 30% extra chance to resist Nova or Deep Freeze. When Sacred Cleansing procced, it could absolutely turn a fight purely on RNG, and this was an expansion where they aimed to remove so much of PvP's randomness. On top of this, the Holy Paladin was already S tier in absolutely everything in Wrath of the Lich King, and were often found in top arena teams and were stacked in raids.
Alright, we'll skip through this. W.
Kata the Slime and strange talent at least a true hero class, Wrath the Lich King.
Here we go.
It's no exaggeration that the release DK was a true hero class and was just miles ahead of any other class at doing, well, anything to be honest. You could very much DPS as any of the 3 specs, or you
I will say another mid answer, Hungry and Cold or AMZ. Ooh, Hungry and Cold, that's a good. What did we choose here? We chose Dark Sim is gone. Thinking about this now, kind of a niche answer, but it did completely break some raid fights and was just overall really cool and really fun. But there's probably something more powerful. I think rezzing your friend as a ghoul is something that some people in chat said. I think that's a crazy answer. That thing was so mid. I think the true answer is probably AMZ. Because I think AMZ was literally the best raid cooldown ever in Nathria, and then now it's not nearly as good. But he's going to say some Wrath shit, so...
could tank as any of the 3 if you wanted. People would run 5 DKs through TBC dungeons when they were leveling and just absolutely flatten them. In Arena, people reach Gladiator in blue gear, and others use cast random macros with their abilities to just let fate decide their rotation. So this means there's going to be quite a lot of choice for the most overpowered removed ability. For the Death Knight specifically, just to give you a real idea of how overpowered some of their spells were, I want to do an honourable mention to a glyph. This was Glyph of Death and Decay, which made it so targets inside Death and Decay had a 20% chance to cower in fear for 2 seconds. So in PvP or PvE, you'd pop your Death and Decay down and it could chain proc this fear effect on anyone inside of it, effectively making them be able to...
Yeah, PvP answer, but... PvP answer, but this does sound super fucking OP, though.
Not play the game.
This also sounds like something that would be mega broken in Mythic Plus. Could you imagine, dude? Could you imagine if your D&D in Mythic Plus, if you ran any spec of DK, was just like chain? I mean, it's kind of like Earthquake, right? Where it just like randomly knocks down things. But that would just be so good for stops. It's just honorable,
this
okay.
Rather unsurprisingly was changed very early into Wrath, so the glyph just made Death and Decay do more damage instead. But the pick for the Death Knight is the talent that only made it one major patch before it had to be removed from the game because it was so unreasonably overpowered, and that was Shadow of Death. This was a talent found in the Unholy Tree, which in addition to giving you some bonus stats, made it so when you died, you would resurrect as a ghoul and be able to continue fighting for 45 seconds. And of course this worked in PvE, and it also worked in the Arena. The ghoul you resurrected as would have their own action bar,
PvP
with
answer.
abilities
Alright, next.
on 45 seconds from working this way in patch 3. And out of everything they have, at least they are in vanilla area. And I think there's plenty of things which would be worthy of choosing here, such as
this is Warrior, I believe.
How they are in vanilla, being the best DPS and tank by some margin, from their scaling to the rage resource and everything else that goes into the class. But I've decided what I want to pick is something a little bit different, something which existed for one expansion. This was a Legion artifact trait that Fury Warriors have called Juggernaut.
This isn't... I don't think this is a super bad... I think this is probably a pretty good answer. What did we choose? Old Rallying Cry? This is a pretty good answer.
The Juggernaut trait made it so execute...
The thing is like, there's not even a lot of fights that were defined by this. I don't know. It also still exists. And it's good. I would have picked Gladiator Prot Warrior. That shit was nuts. Dude, so many people said that. And that has to be a PvP answer. Because like in PvE, Glad Stance Warrior was so mid. It was like never good. It was fine. But, you know, PvP answer. Let's see. Wrath of Ashara.
Increase the damage of execute by 5%.
I remember Juggernaut being insane on Argus. Juggernaut was fine in a bunch of different fights. You guys are just thinking of one clip where someone's screaming.
8 seconds, stacking up to 99 times. Now actually reaching the cap of 99 wasn't realistically going to be possible unless you set up a fight specifically.
Yeah, but that clip goes hard. The clip does go hard.
But even hitting stacks which went 30 plus, which was definitely doable, meant that your execute had a 150% damage buff. And this was already a super hard hitting ability. Of course, warriors have always been known for their strong execute phase, but this artifact trait put Fury Warriors on a whole caliber level. On longer fights where you could have consistent uptime, you'd see Fury rise on the meters, often ending towards the top after they hit really high execute stacks. This was also probably a bit of a design issue for Blizzard moving forwards, as if a boss, for example, did have a long execute phase, this trait will probably make warriors disproportionately good on that specific fight. Either way, when BFA released, the great artifact pruning happened, and every class lost tons of the fun stuff they had had throughout Legion, and Juggernaut was one of those abilities to go. And that, I think, is just about it. What has to be one of the most powerful abilities removed from each of the classes of World of Warcraft.
Okay, so basically the question is, what is the most OP of all of them? And I think the answer is Surrender to Madness or Symbiosis. It's one of those two. Not really sure. They're both good at completely different things. Hard to compare them, but yeah. I think Ashen Hollow, he didn't pick it for Paladin, but I think also it would be way up there too. It would be like top 5 in that discussion. It like completely defined the game until it was removed. It absolutely carried Mythic Raid. It completely broke Mythic Dungeons. Are you drifting? Yeah, bro, I'm fucking heavy drifting. I'm drifting crazy right now. Bro's driving like he had 5 Jaeger bombs. Yeah, I keep it weird. Alright, time for some Mythic Plus, though. Have you done all the races yet? Nah, that could be another stream, though. I want to do some Mythic Plus, dude. I need to do Rookery, and I need to do Dark Flame Cleft. They're the last 2 dungeons I haven't done. But so far, I really like all the dungeons this season. Big things that stand out, especially the older dungeons, is they just made the visuals for so many, like, shitty frontals and just random damage. The visuals are just so much fucking better. So much better. What level are you doing? I'm usually doing them on 12s, but then I'll go up. Trill is in the lower bracket right now, elimination match. Dude, I want them to do so good this tournament. Gustbusters? Who are these people? I've heard the name Chun-Li before. Bro, it's crazy how the competitive PvP scene has been the same players for like 10 years. Actually, there was a new team in NA that I don't think plays anymore, that Drake team. That I don't think they were like super OGs. Damn, dude, Sam dead. They're down. They're down 2-0. All right, sadness.
Yeah, they want to see this through. PI being committed as well.
Oh shit, Flop's getting fucking yo.
Swap the flop. Can Trill do it? He does. We have ourselves a 2v2 here in game number 2. Sea-Doo and Trill in a much better position with a healer DPS composition. Can Chun-Li and Dippy punch through the lack of cooldowns and mana of Sea-Doo, Z?
Yeah, that is the question. Chun has the touch of karma. Oh my god, Sea-Doo angel forms, channels out the divine hymns, Trill defensive smoke bomb here. He gets caught up by the lightning lasso. Chun-Li's going for the kill, but Sea-Doo is blocking it right now. Offensive karma coming out, huge damage onto Trill. He's got, what does he have? He doesn't have anything right now. They're going back to Sea-Doo, they hex Trill, and they might be able to find the kill here. Nice tremor totem coming out there from Dippy on the fear. Kidney shot onto Chun-Li. He's got nothing. He gets down on his trinket.
Dude,
he's dead.
Trill is a fucking monster.
Liquid, turn it around with no mana, and they turn this game back on its head. What is going on? No,
bro.
We have to see when Flop died here.
Bro,
what did he do? He charged in, I think, in cat form. It looked like he just thought, okay, the game is done, and he just charged in and completely disrespected and got sent.
Insane plays,
dude,
from Team.
I am the #1. Like when I tune into a PvP game, shit just goes down, bro.
A ray of hope, if you will, and they found it. Unreal, and that's why you never give up. You never surrender until the last go, because right here, Trill found the window, switched the flop. Unreal. Did he die without bark skin? Did he get locked?
No, he didn't. He didn't have it. He didn't have it. So Flop didn't have bark skin.
Oh, you gotta keep watching at this point.
I was as soon as Sam died, I was gonna commend Flop for his decision making right here because he trinketed a DR Ring of Frost, and it barely was enough with the Giga Tree to keep Dippy alive. I was like, oh my god, Flop is playing so good this game. He's actually a god. And then he just goes and does this. Look at his blink here. I think he tried to blink he saw Trill like shadow step to him or whatever, and he tried to blink that. I'm not sure what he was doing here, but this was an easy bear for him, bro.
Fear,
like he pre-burned everything. He pre-burned everything the whole game, and now he just like goes cat, and it looks like he wants to go in for like a rake stun or a maim or something, just being super aggro. I think the game is done.
Fuck.
And Team Liquid, we've seen them do this before. They just win these 2v2s, and also they play the 2v2 out really well too on the side of Liquid, but. That was an incredible turnaround.
Crazy by Sea-Doo too.
Man, that Ring of Peace too on the pre-kidney shot go that killed Chun-Li was crazy. If that ended up working, I don't know. I'd have to like rename my character to like Chun-Li's #1 fan or something like that because that was insane. right here, look at this, man. The pre-Ring of Peace, knowing what's about to happen, crazy heads-up plays. Yeah. But dude, I also want to commend Sea-Doo on that game because not only did Trill find the opening to get that swap, but
I'll be right back, boys.
CC is key. We talk about the composition, flexibility and versatility of the Windwalker, Monk, Elemental.
Wait, someone
Shaman,
said crazy to hear Zico cast retail.
And the
Bro, he's been doing that
so
forever.
Because everyone has each other's back. Whenever Trill catches that momentum, Chun-Li's got the disarm. He's got the in caps for every single go. But when you're both in a double fear, when Flop needs them most, they find an opener. Fantastic play by Liquid. Fantastic. They are back in the series. It is 1-1.
I just can't believe what just happened here. Like, this is crazy. How do we go from playing like gods the whole game to just, oh my god, that is it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. And Team Liquid, man, they don't give up. They keep playing and they turn it around. What an insane series so far. 1-1 apiece, but man, what do you do if you're Liquid now? Because that RMP game, I think they're gonna lock it in again.
I feel like.
What do you do if you're Flop? You just played a 60% dampening game where you played perfect, made one mistake, and now you lost. And you probably don't feel too good about it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna lock in the RMP.
Well, think about the other
I feel like
end.
if you're Flop
Sea-Doo's
now,
like, I have to be a literal miracle worker for us to win this game. You know what I mean? Like, both of these teams are really. This is a head-to-head that you kind of dream of. This is the level of play that is why we are here. These two type of teams is just what creates the most insane plays that we will remember throughout time. That cross kill has to be something that goes down in the echelons of even the Orange Marmalades. That was an incredible game, and this is going to be just another one. Same compositions, Tiger's Peak, everything just looks so, I don't know, explosive. This just feels like anything could absolutely happen. I don't even know how to predict moving forward from here on out.
It's a mental game. Like, did you just lose the mental game? I don't know. I feel like the worst feeling is when if you're in a position where you make a big mistake and you know it. Like, it's like one thing if your teammates make a mistake, like it can be annoying, right? But when you know you made a huge mistake and you know your teammates are annoyed at you and you're annoyed at yourself and you're just like,
that's life
I really hope,
too, man. That's everything.
No, it is.
It's interesting.
I
to
just
think
hope
about.
it doesn't get to them.
Right.
And this is where supportive teammates as well come through. So if you have somebody like, I don't know about Dippy, but I know Chan is very kind of laid back and chill. And having somebody like that, he's just got to be like, don't worry about it. It's fine. We're going to win this. Like, easy clap, you know? Just queue up, so hopefully they bounce back from that, but that's draining, man. That's draining. They've had a draining weekend too, being in the lower bracket, playing a lot of long damp games, and Team Liquid, that was kind of the steam they needed, because that game was not looking good for them. They were getting outplayed more or less the entire game. They were getting read like an open book.
Right. No, honestly, even until I saw the death animation, I thought flop was okay. Like, I'm just like, there's no way. They have everything. They have all the momentum. Somebody on his team has got to have a stop. An in cap, perhaps. Samam's dead. What is going on? Where is the disarm? But sometimes you're cross CC'd. And I do love that you mentioned that, though, Z. I love that you're talking a little bit about the mind games, but also, like, the stamina and in the camaraderie that is required to be at the high echelons. Mechanics are one thing, synergy is one thing, but here's a bomb opener to start things off. Immediately going to knock him off. He's holding onto that wall. This might just be a bait. Disarm immediately comes out for Chun-Li, and Dippy walks away from that smoke bomb opener, not pressing a single button.
Yeah, and Dippy is doing an incredible amount of damage right now. He has his
now the main question:
ready to go. But
does the other team?
Did he pre-bear for him?
Does the other team?
Yeah, of course he did.
Tilt.
Pre-bear for him the first stun. A good sign here for him. He's going to get a lot of confidence, but he did have to.
Totally depends on the personalities of the people, but like, and I don't know any of them, but
rush. It was for a lot of cooldowns. So,
dude, if you get 2v3'd and you die in a stun,
Cito is moving in, trying to fear him.
You better hope your teammates like you a lot, because if they don't, they're tilted so bad.
Next setup, he's just pre-bearing. Going out.
I don't know how many games we're gonna watch. Because I kind of want to Mythic Plus.
I think no. Did I get the
kind of on Mythic Plus? Kind of low key want a Mythic Plus, and then maybe we'll tune in the finals, bro, or elimination games. But I want to support them this week because they've been dealing with a lot of bullshit. Wait. Oh, he screamed. This is the lower bracket finals. Yep. I know. This game isn't a limb. I think it's 1-1, right? Yeah, I think it's best of 5, right? Or is it not? It's best of 5? Oh, then yeah. Max, can you hold a drift around the whole hotel? I don't know. Probably. Is this the hotel? Wait, like that shit? The Galagio? Or is that the casino? I don't know if you can, bro. Oh, well, that didn't go well. Maybe we just stop while we're behind. Oh, held it too hard. Wait, this is fucking piss, right? Yeah, bro. We could keep this shit going forever if we wanted to. As I instantly crash. All right, boys. Let's do some plus, I think. Do some plus. Throw on some midnight and hit them at plus. Some dude hits the whisper on me and goes, "I can't stand you, honestly." Damn. Fair beans. Holy shit. Alright, here we go. Max, do you need a 12 DFC? I got a resilient one. Dude, people keep saying that. What the fuck does that mean? I've got a resilient key. Oh, does that mean it can't be depleted? It can never drop? Oh. I mean, we're not depleting that shit, dog. And even if we do, I don't want to do the same dungeon twice. That sounds boring. Max, did you see any clips of Elon Musk live streaming PoE 2? He didn't hide his in-game chat, and it was exactly what you'd expect. I did see a couple screenshots of it where, like, it was basically just someone saying, like, no one fucking loves you or whatever, and then his face is just so sad. It's just like, dude, why are you doing this to yourself? I still think one of the biggest self-owns that Elon ever did was, like, the internet and gaming internet is a really toxic place in general. But they loved him. Like Elon had a pretty good approval rating among gamers, certain gamers. Definitely like incel gamers loved Elon Musk. Lot of gamers just liked Elon. And then, dude, him doing that PoE2 shit, having someone play his account, which, by the way, doesn't even matter. If he was just like, yep, have someone playing my account, no one cares. But the fact that he had to, like, he was so insecure that he's a fucking richest person in the world that we know of. Probably not. Saudi people are certainly richer, but, like, he has all this money. Has an office in the White House. And even after all of that, he's so insecure that he needs to lie, to a very obvious lie, to a bunch of people to think that he's like a god at video games. Like, that is fucking pathetic. That is so... It's like legit sad that someone could have that much and still be that insecure. I mean, it's so obvious that he did that too. Like, complete fraudulent. And then so now all these people that supported him are like, think he's a fucking fraud. I just think it was a crazy cell phone. All right, boys, let's go. Took almost 7 minutes for the first person to die in that last arena match. Oh, speaking of that, who was it? Damn it. No, Liquid, no. Wait, maybe again? They're not letting that shit happen again.
Just to bait Trill to commit the stun. So, because now he's on stun there, so he can't die, and now he can just play the game the way he wants to. And look at Liquid. They're like, well, we've won like this before, so we're...
Can he do it again? Dude, there's no fucking way.
We have an opportunity. There's actually no trinket. Oh my god, Flop is blinded. They actually could do it here. Oh my god, he has no bark skin. He has nothing.
Wait.
But they shut down Sea-Doo's damage with the lightning lasso.
Nah.
And there's gonna be
Yeah,
a
he's dead.
stun.
Alright, cool. Was that? I don't even see the big deal, though. I don't think those games take a lot of skill, unlike PvP games or PvE WoW. I mean, ARPGs definitely... at like a base level or like pretty surface level stuff, you just end up pressing your button and moving around. But saying there's no skill, like there's huge skill caps. Especially you can tell in like the speed running of the game. There's absolute Gappertons going on. Alright, so what's my key? I have a 13 Cinder Brew Meadery. I'm kind of down for that. Unfortunately, my class isn't awesome at that key, but... oh, I still want to do a Dark Flame Cleft. But is it better to start with a key I actually know? Or do you guys want to PP laugh? If there's no skill gap, then how does... I mean, there's like a skill gap and everything. Like PvE WoW is insane. You've never seen someone that someone else couldn't be better than. There's like an infinite skill cap in PvE WoW. Dark Flame's a Giga Chiller. Alright, let's do it. Group's called Riztown. I need someone to link their key. It's in the Cinder Brew Meadery section, but we're going to be doing Dark Flame Cleft. I just need someone to link me the key for it. 12 Dark Flame. Alright, got it. We got a mage. Got a magus. Have a 13 rookery. I do want to do the 13 rookery. Especially after that thing the other night. Wait, did I get... Oh, I can do one more uppy, I think. Maybe not, actually.
Much to be done.
Can I do another uppy? That's the question. I can! Dude, we're almost 666. Wait, how many more, Dude, the buffs to getting Gilded Crest is so nice. Someone said, why are you guys arguing with someone that can't understand nuance or logical fallacies? Dude, how much happier would people get if there was like some kind of detection when you're arguing with someone and you could just tell that they didn't use logic to come to their conclusion, and also that you're never changing their mind? And then you would just know to instantly stop rather than wasting your time. I'm a victim of this too. I am so stupid. I argue with people all the time, or I used to especially, that like I know for a fact will not change their mind. I do this on stream too. A really bad thing that I do on stream is I always, like, when I'm in the middle of explaining something, I think about what the most confused chatter would ask or be confused about, and then I re-clarify it. But most people know and don't need that question to be asked, but then I end up just over-explaining things as a streamer because I am used to explaining it for the person that's the most confused. But that's just something that probably annoys 90% of people and only helps very few. I don't know why I can't whisper you, but I have a 12 Dark Flame. No key, but we'll blast. Let's play the Rogue, dude. I haven't played the Rogue yet. Have 13 Rookery. Ah, no DPS. Ooh, I haven't seen a healer dragon. Let's do that. That sounds fun. I haven't played with a healer dragon this season. Let's do Blood DK too. That sounds good. It can also just be fun to argue. It ain't that serious. I think it depends on where you're doing it. Some people certainly love to argue. Boys, if you love to argue, install Twitter, the app, and just head to a controversial comment section and then just try to change people's minds, bro. You have infinite content, and that's your thing. Personally, that would drive me insane, because to argue with someone, you would present facts and try to change their mind, and they will literally never do it and did not use facts to come to the conclusion they came to. But you could be doing that, and it would be great. That guy doesn't want to come. All right, I'll get someone else. Inviting this person will change it to a raid. Nah, the fuck it will. I'll just change it to a not raid, and then I'll delist. I deleted my Twitter 6 months ago, and I've rarely been happier with the decision I've made. Dude, you should listen to the end of our podcast and hear Dratnos' take about Twitter, bro. He's so cooked. Alright, I don't know what happens in Dark Flame Cleft. I hope I don't ruin the key. But if I do, so be it. I'm trying to listen to that podcast, but you are streaming. Bro, that's not my fault. If you wanted to watch the podcast instead, just do that. I still think Twitter is a good thing if you are really vigilant and if you're really vigilant and you actually like you check and make sure that you are like muting things and words you don't want to see. Like if you don't want to see culture war nonsense and you don't actively remove it, it's just going to show up. But like if you care about a few hobbies in particular instances, like for example, I'm into hockey right now. Hockey Twitter is great. It's also a little cursed, but it's usually great. I just like watch highlights on it. It's cool. And then like some other news and stuff is kind of interesting to me. But like anytime, like I basically purge WoW Twitter from my Twitter. I don't see anything World of Warcraft related on my Twitter ever. That is not ideal. Someone said who's key. I think it's the Magus. Grabbing, this guy said grabbing stuff and bringing it back. All right, bet. Pull timer. All right, never done a
Four, three,
a dark flame before. Let's see what happens. We're gonna bang some midnight while we're doing it. He said he's bringing it back, so.
AOE.
Just gonna line that because I don't know if it does damage or not. Oh. That almost killed me, holy shit.
AOE.
Help bot. What is this enrage? This big deal? Oh, I should have changed my talents. Well, I didn't know this was a thing, but can't I take the parrot like paralysis? Oh wait, I have it. I have it. I have not played monk since that was a thing. I don't know if this was the right decision, but
AOE.
second overseer. I'm assuming we were trying not to pull the second overseer. Just judging based on what they do.
AOE.
Just karma that. Okay, that's so annoying. At least they're done now. Okay, let's just go a little stupid on these guys here. Probably not an awesome move to just pop CDs on one target for the overall, but it's certainly good for progressing the dungeon. So we're going to do that because we are team players here. We're going to game 5. Liquid made it 2-2. Dude, yes. Love to hear that. Dude, holy fuck. Dazer just met Lucy from the raid, or from M&S, and what an absolute Giga Chad.
Yeah. Yeah.
What an absolute beast. You guys know who Lucy is? Lucy's the person who did all the runs for us in progression. They did all 15 of our Gallywicks and Mugsy splits with all in the same character. They had 15 priests or something. Crazy. Crazy gaming. Huge Giga Chad. Alright.
Yeah. AOE.
Feel pretty good how I've played this so far, damage-wise.
AOE.
It just, oh yeah, so I've seen this boss. This is like, basically if you're standing on the thing, the trains will just come kill you. I'm just gonna let you know right now, guys. It's unfortunate this is the case, but I am going to die to that this pull. It's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't true. I just so wish it wasn't true, but... No touch of death for me here. Oh, dude, that's a huge jump scare.
Dodge.
Do you want him to hit a wall, I guess? I will touch of death the next thing. Dude. Holy shit.
Charge. Dodge.
Why do I have 2 dynamic overall damages right now? I think we can just burn him, right?
Charge.
Maybe this is a little greedy, but...
Dodge.
Oh, Jesus. Probably does magic damage. Should we diffuse? Bro, diffuse is so... Why didn't you guys diffuse? Think about it. Oh, I'm dead. Okay, well, he'll finish it. That was worth it, by the way. It was definitely worth losing our whole party except for one person. Oh, is he gonna die? Oh my god. Wait. Oh. Dude, that was fucking easy, by the way. That wasn't even close. He's a DK, it's fine. Yeah, but there was some crazy dot, though. Someone remind me to fix something on my UI after this pull. Or after this dungeon. How come this is showing current? Like, damage done overall should be the right thing. There we go.
AOE. AOE. Hit.
No, I was stuck in a minecart, bro.
AOE.
I'm stunned. I'm so sad.
AOE.
spawns fire. And
Your
wow.
survival wasn't necessary.
All right. In my defense, do we go battle race here? I think I release. In my defense, I did not know it spawned fire after that circle, and there was probably no way for me to know that. That's my defense. I would have simply just not gone back into it, but unfortunately I transcended right in the middle of it. Broken weapy? No, we're fine. Nah, the only 4 that went off before? Nah, bro, I couldn't have seen that.
AOE.
Could diffuse, not doing it. Wait, this is the boss. Blazicon. Walking past the hammer. I don't know what that means, what you just said. Well, I mean, besides obviously that there's a hammer that I walked past. That part is clear. Oh, that hurt. Wicklighter barrage. Okay. Okay, that part of the room is gone. Tornadoes as well. What is this? I don't know what this means. They seem to be spreading out. I don't really understand. Is it just you just don't want them all stacked? Aim the tornado at a candle. Oh, okay.
AOE. Dance.
Find safe spot. Oh, is it where the 2 that are... Okay. Extinguishing gust. So I want to use it on a candle. And then now the safe spot is going to be either one of the things you take up. Okay. Boss kind of chill.
AOE.
Ideally, don't eat the tornado. All right. Word. Understood. Heard.
Dance.
Quick lighter barrage. This has not gone on me yet. Are they trying to light candles with this? And then the safe spot is going to be what? I just got hit by it again. I could have used CDs here. Oh, that might be bad, he says. Never mind. Okay. Alright, checking in on PvP real quick.
So both of these teams.
Did they win? Yellow gear, Biss. Dude, that might be one of the, like, biggest disconnects, I think, between, like, Twitch streamers and chat. or just WoW streamers maybe, is just how much it doesn't matter that you... Oh my god, I just used my CDs on nothing. How much it doesn't matter that your gear's yellow, but like it just drives Twitch chat insane. They lost? Aw. Once you get a purple circle, put it near a wax figurine. Okay.
Frontal.
Stunned. Cool. I'm just fucking dead. I'm just gonna defuse because it looks like I'm in the middle of a bunch of fire. That was terrible for overall right there. Is this a boss?
Hit.
Wait, what did you say? Once, if you get a pickaxe, stand behind wax. If once you get a purple circle, put it near a wax figurine.
AO.
Okay. Next dude is the boss. Oh wait, so we're not on a boss right now. Okay, W.
AO.
I still am not quite sure exactly where you want to use like your second clones. Like obviously you would chain it in Lust like pure single or AoE. But it has to be for like a different AoE pack that's just important. Because your clones that you use without your celestial shit seems like really bad.
Frontal.
I could have used CDs here as well. Should have used CDs. I was just in a weird spot because I used this earlier.
Hit.
This took forever. I mean, I would have killed this way faster. I just got stunned on the pole with my CDs and I didn't get to use shit. I also used CDs on those ads back there, which obviously hindsight really bad. But I didn't know. I just thought it was like a hard pack. All right, the Candle King. Pickaxe aim. What happens if you don't get rid of wax? I'm assuming you just get shit on somehow. Oh, Amber barking. Alright. I unmuted my shit. This is a nice little boss. Not nothing special, but like not annoying. I feel like just in general that's been kind of true. There's just not a lot of annoying bosses in this season that I've done.
more candle king, we can be free.
Oh, this part.
The darkness. Dark times are fleet.
Okay, we can just go. We don't need to be in this thing. Or we do? We do? We don't? Everyone else seems to be staying in it, so I'm gonna stay in it.
Kick.
I don't know what to do, but I'm doing it. Can we... Is this doing damage? Can I do damage out here? Do I need to be in this thing? Oh. It appears my abilities were doing like 0 damn, I think.
Kick.
Dark has reduced damage, get into light. Yeah, I used all my CDs outside of the light, by the way. Not feeling amazing at the moment. How do we charge this thing up? Do you have to bring candlelight into it? I think that's got to be what this is, right? Oh. Why did I Rising Sun kick there? What a play by me. Can you just have a candle and then do damage too? Oop. Oh, I just gave it to this, but not sure what to do here. I'm just gonna... I was gonna use CDs here, thank God. Next boss, if you get Shadow Blast, run out of the group and grab Candle. Okay. Is there like a macro or something you could bind to when it gives you this extra bar that always just does that cursor so you don't have to click? That's universal for all spells. Probably doesn't work, right? All right. Oh, so this guy, we're doing stuff. Okay. So So the candle needs to always, if it goes to 0, it's just bad news. Okay. You get Shadow Blast, get out and take it to a candle, is what someone said. Oh, and you need to move the thing, too. I see. It's like Shriekwing, kind of. The dark spawns, do you have to not let them get to you or something? Maybe I should have karma'd. I just didn't have time. Oh, I can still do it. Fuck me. Oh, I guess you always go right. Is that the idea? Okay. About to go stupid on the boss here. Probably should have used my CDs earlier, but...
Frontal. AOE.
It's a nice little chill dungeon, though. I'd take it to a candle. As someone said.
Frontal.
I think that's what he said. Maybe I fucked it up. Did I fuck this up? Looks like we have 0. I feel like I fucked it up. Need some light. I'm coming back. Got it. Dude, fucking, I'm so sick. Let's go, Rizzy. Why do you need a candle? Does that just, like, fuck your ass up? You just want to be outside with your things, so you just want to get a candle. Okay.
AOE. AOE. Frontal.
Yay. We did it. Alright, so now I've done, I've technically done everything on a 12. Oh, except we needed to do a new rookery. And no keep. Thanks for the run, boys. Preservoker felt fun. I need to... Oh, yeah, I just need to figure out what to change with my UI. Okay, so, couple things. Number one, there's, like, this... Whatever this is. I think it's in Essentials, probably. Defensives bar, this. This just needs to be moved up by... I don't know if that's the total amount we need. But... I think that's fine. Maybe it can be a little lower. That's fine. Okay, also my bigwigs is going down into this, so my bigwigs bar needs to be a little higher. Or no, I think it uses absolute positioning. If I can create a couple test bars, it's easy to fix. Emphasize bars is what needs to change. Oh, and I got ported out right when I'm doing it. Fuck, I'm so stupid. And I have to... I mean, I have to do it all over again, but... Okay. Create test bar. Exact positioning. Emphasize bars. Very simply, just needs to be higher. Even a little lower. Oh. Yeah, that seems fine. Cool. All good. Alright. Gaming. Starting a group again. Or we could do Cinderbrew. I kind of want to do Rookery, though. Rookery angle. Rook, rook, rook. Sign up for rook, rook, rook. I need someone with a key. Someone with a key, and then some gamers. List the group. Little Gup didn't do it. Fuck. Wait, why won't it do it? I did. Hello? Why won't it list? Your group title probably has 2 lines in it. It happened to me earlier. What? What does that even mean? There's sometimes a hidden character. Alright. I don't know what it is, but all good. Still won't let me list it. Oh, someone in chat said I couldn't list not my own key yesterday. I mean, I literally did earlier, but it's fine. I'll just do Cinderbrew Meadery. Still can't do that. Plus 13? Am I just like banned? Can I not? It might be a reload angle. Group is called Rooko. Oh, I think I know what just did it. It's because I did it on Mythic and it saved the title. Nope. That is okay, I just can't list a key right now. Control A backspace. I mean, oh, now it works. Interesting. The group's called Rooko. I do need someone with the key, though. Oh, Monk Room says, I guarantee you I will be the highest healer. I mean, there won't be anyone else in there, but you're right. He's right. He's right. Alright, no one has the... Someone told me they had a Rookery earlier. Maybe they're doing some other shit now. Backpedal God. Or maybe we can't do a Rookery. No one has one. I guess if we don't have a Rookery, maybe if you guys sign up. Oh, this guy said have key but haven't done a 13 before. Like, you have what key? Wait, no, that's Frostmourne. I am not doing that ping. Or making you play on my ping. That sounds terrible. Have a 14 resilient. Oh. I kind of want to do it on less than a... I want to do it on the 12. $11 rookery. No. I have a 13 gang, go to 12. W. Okay, got a rogue. Who else wants to game? Alright, blood DK. Fuck it. That sounds fun. And let's get a DPS shaman. Or a healer shaman. I haven't seen those. Let's get that. Let's get a healer shaman. Ooh, I haven't seen a shadow priest. Could do that. Could do a ret. Could do a hunter. Bad X-Mog, but top DPS. Alright, bet. Getting this hunter. Beautiful. Rookery angle. Max, do you have any guiding philosophies on entering soft cap on secondaries? I'm trying to sim one-arm bandit affliction, and I'm getting some funny results which are contrary to top logs. Well, here's one thing. As far as I know, there is basically no way to accurately sim basically any multi-target WoW situation that isn't permanently a certain target. Like, permanent 5 target is easy, permanent X target, but that's not how WoW fights work, right? It's like single target, and then it's AoE of different target sizes. So if you're ever trying to sim that for stat weights, it's usually just like totally fucking wrong. So that may be your first issue. Like, trying to sim one-arm bandit, like, how the fuck do you sim one-arm bandit? Like, that actually sounds unsimmable. Like, how can you know? How do you know how long the ads live? Okay, chill. I'll just copy top logs. All right, you're right. I got it. I was doing too much there. Are we doing that massive shit? What did he mean by guiding philosophies then? Yeah, actually, wait, you asked me for guiding philosophies. I started spitting philosophy, and then you were like, all right, bro, I'll just do what the logs do. I feel like I just got... Is that what gaslighting is? I don't think so. But people overuse that word, so I'm going to say it. All right, pulling.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Does everyone pull like everything here? We did that in the 14 and it seemed kind of crazy, but also it was cool. Okay, we're not doing everything. That's fine.
Frontal. Shield. Frontal.
What is that? While you go to the roosts, I will distract them.
Dude, MM Hunter does crazy damn. Holy fuck. Look at that. What are the cooldowns of MM?
AoE. Dodge. Hit. AoE.
Dude, those lightning bolts fuck. Every time I was targeted by one of those things, I feel like I was getting destroyed. I should have used my CDs there, but I had bad preparation, unfortunately. This looks kind of crazy.
Dodge.
Oh, I'm in the middle of a channel. You're stun after.
AoE.
I can if diffuse. I don't want to.
Dodge.
I can use, I should have karma'd that. Doing it. That seemed worth. Still have stuff for boss. These packs seem like they'd be really dangerous in high keys.
Spread. Dodge. Dodge. Intermission.
I feel like you diffuse this. You don't need to, but it's just like, why not? Get a little reduction. Rotate through some shit.
Dodge. Spread.
Guess you can't have one for every one of them, huh?
Dodge. Intermission. Spread. Dodge. Dodge. Spread. Dodge. Dodge. Intermission. Intermission.
I thought it always went right, bro. It was in my head. Wrong way, Mang. Dude, I know. Come on. Leave me alone, dog. This hallway was so fucking annoying for me last time. Oh, I was gonna go for that too, but It's like, it's just this big circle. I think you only need to be out at the end, right? Or does it do damage the whole time?
Avoid.
We gotta just pull this guy in with the next pack, right? Ain't no fucking way we're sitting on this guy. I can touch him, actually. Just go. Okay. There has to be more. Oh, that's fine. Windwalker. This doesn't even feel bad for Windwalker, right? That's the angle here.
Avoid.
Only half the only half the target cap. We're feeling great. I think this is a clones.
Avoid. Avoid. Avoid.
Stunning.
Avoid. Avoid.
Held pot. That's nasty, actually. The amount of damage here is insane. Probably we could have burned one of these, though, so that didn't happen, that lineup. I just killed that rogue by doing that. I should have gone earlier. Alright, he didn't die, but... probably should have fucking killed him.
I command this rookery by right.
Debuff.
Feel my blessing. The might of my hammer.
Oh, I can just totally hit this guy, by the way.
Trust by my power. Your death is my directive.
Debuff.
Feel my blessing.
There's a wax thing right there. That's from a different... is that a trinket?
The might of my hammer. My valor, your ruin.
That's the one you can leap into, okay.
Debuff.
Feel my blessing. Your death is my directive. Your death is my directive.
Do you know what direction those are going to come out in?
Trust by my power.
Debuff.
Feel my blessing. The might of my hammer.
Fuck, I'm going to miss the fist in it. Ugh. Hate it.
The might of my hammer.
I would just say the overall boss... Actually, I don't even want to say overall boss quality. I feel like what it is in Mythic Plus this season is it feels like the
the likelihood that a boss is going to be annoying is so much lower, maybe is the best way to put it. Like, I don't know on average, like, which bosses are annoying, like 1 out of 3 or whatever. It just seems like that number is significantly lower. But also, I'm fucking making it up, so who knows.
Dodge.
I do not like that it feels darker and colder as we go down. But there are more survivors to rescue. The lift is out. If we want to keep going, we will have to go down the... What is that? What did go...
Oh, I pulled trash here last time, I remember. I'm gonna do infinite dam on this guy.
Dance.
What is Unleashed Dark? Does he take extra damage during that? Is it does it happen at 50% type beat? Could use clones here. Ooh, nice proc. That was unfortunate movement by me there.
Dodge. Dodge.
I've only played with 2 hunters so far, and both of them has done insanely good damn. Apparently someone said survival's like even better.
Dodge. Dance.
Oh yeah, it is. It is 50, I think. Or at least it starts like prepping it at 50. I'm gonna die. I'm alive.
Dodge.
I'm still don't quite know how to do this next boss well. Question. Do I just CD here? I think I do. Because, like, you want it to come up late on the first boss, right? You don't want it up, like, on the pole.
Dodge.
That was almost really bad. Do W backpedal right there, actually. Tying it all in. The stream's all one big tie-in.
No.
I can go get that one over there. Bro, I don't think I'm gonna get it. I don't think my CDs are gonna be up. This is so sad. I don't think my CDs are gonna be up, bro. Dude. Come on. Do it late. Do it late. Hit me with that shit. Oh, yeah. Ooh, with pot two? Okay, baby. Ooh, Rizzard. God damn, Rizzy.
No.
Get weird with it then. That did so much damn. Oh, this goes off in 3 seconds. Oh, I can still melee him. What the fuck? Okay, his shield's already gone. Which means I'll probably use my CDs here if I can. Or just clones. Dude, I'm giving this guy the fucking good news. I'm gonna have 2 minutes for the next one too. God damn. God damn.
No.
I'll defuse it off. I'm saving this fucking this thing. Whatever it's called. Strike of the Windlord. Saving that shit. Saving that shit, going absolutely stupid on it right now. Going absolutely stupid on this shit right now. God damn. Let's go. We don't have count. Come on, mate. God, that MM Hunter fucking piped. God damn. I feel like I actually played this dungeon decently well, too. Oh, we actually only need one? Yeah.
Well done, mortal.
Max, you missed buffs after the third boss. What are you saying right now? What are you saying right now? Yeah, I would say this dungeon definitely seems more lethal. Dungeon definitely seems more lethal. First boss is just like kind of really common. You need big damage reduction. Second boss doesn't seem that bad, but this boss seems like it'd be really dangerous, especially with the spells. And there's a lot of trash packs that are just like doing crazy damn to you. When you zap down after the first boss, if you zap onto a trapped bird, you get a little buffy. Ooh, wait. Where? Well, how big of a buff?
It's 1%. Shit. Damn. I feel like we gamed today. Officially have all the dungeons. Oh, we still haven't done a 12 in a few of them. I feel like we start with 14s tomorrow. I think that's the move. Yeah. 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 All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you later. Oh, the dogs know. The dogs. Oh my god. Oh, Ella's got her seahorse. Ella, show me the seahorse, girl. Come here. Ella, can I see it? Ella, can I see the seahorse, please? Come here. She does not want me to take that shit. I always find it so funny that I can say so many different things, but if I say something that makes them think that I'm ending my stream, they're just like so fucking locked in. They just know. Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.